That's right. And just like that, welcome to the Hoot Hobbs Show. I am Hoot Hobbs. With me, as always, Mr. BT, Brandon Torres.
Hey.
So I say let's just get into it. So we all agree that Adam Silver is, in fact, Slugworth, who is the villain from Willy Wonka, who actually was not a villain, so there was no villain.
Willy Wonka was the villain.
Willy Wonka is.
He was luring children into his factory so that they could get lost.
Yeah, okay. And he's like, oh, don't worry. If I like you enough, I'm going to give you the factory. That's
right.
Weird. That's weird. But
rest in peace, the late great Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder. Yeah, that's right. I was going to say, can we say negative things about Gene Wilder, though? I mean,
I don't know. He did Blazing Saddles, bro.
Yeah, man. Oh, that is one that is an all-time...
Suck at cancel culture.
Yeah, that is an all-time great movie. In fact, you know me, anything Mel Brooks put out, I just thought was fantastic. Robin Hood Men in Tights, Blazing Saddles, Spaceballs. I still History of the World Part 1 that came out back in 1984. Well, Hulu just released this year History of the World Part 2. So
oh, really?
Yeah, and it's kind of like a mini series. I think I haven't watched it yet, but I know there's a lot of A-listers. I don't know. That might have been pretty generous, but there's a lot of known actors and
well-known actors.
Yeah,
A-list to you and me.
Yeah. In comparison, absolutely. We're not on a list.
No.
So
well. Maybe on some government.
Yeah, not that
list.
Not that list.
It's because you keep saying the things that they don't want you to say.
Yeah, now they put you on things like no-fly list. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, listen here, brother. Just because I think Alex Jones got it figured out doesn't mean. I'm joking. See that right there? People will take. Sure. That's gonna be it. That's the clip that's gonna get me canceled. It's gonna be me making fun of myself, making fun of Alex Jones.
Well, yeah, after I put it on the internet.
Yeah, well, it was like, how'd the smut film of you and your wife get put out? Oh, that's terrible. How?
Right.
I mean, I did it. Yeah, it was.
I've been saying that from the beginning. Every single time, it's like, oh yeah, there's nobody was complicit in that at all whatsoever, even though you made millions and millions of dollars off of it.
Yeah.
Because there have been a lot of lesser people that have been exploited that didn't get a dime. So I'm just saying.
Yeah. Celebrity stuff like that, and everyone gets paid off of it. Yeah, I have a hard time feeling too bad about it.
You know what it reminds me of? That episode of South Park with the smug.
Oh, yeah. The smug cloud. It's George Clooney's acceptance speech. It had its own smug cloud.
That's it's just pandering to themselves, patting themselves on the back for what I'm doing.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, but I mean, if it was a selfless act, you wouldn't be out for any glory, right? We find out about it because we go and we discover it through research. We don't find out about it because you're out there talking about it, trying to draw attention.
True that. Algorithms and whatnot.
Well, that's how TikTok works, man.
TikTok, brother. There's lots of cool things on TikTok, though. We have found lots of cool things on TikTok to talk about. So we could TikTok about it. Hey-oh, that was a dad joke, and it wasn't very good. So
I'm leaving it. You're welcome.
You almost have to, especially with where we're going, because a lot of millennial dads will appreciate the genius of Lil Wayne. But
Weezy baby.
Yeah, Weezy F baby. He's Holly Grove's finest, okay?
Absolutely. He is incredible. He's just a lyrical genius because the way he can come up with things off the dome, just out of nowhere. And his way of creating beats, incredible. He is truly a legend to millennials and everyone in that respects rap, I suppose.
Yeah. So, but he's catching a little bit of flack. Really, I don't feel like he's catching that much. If you ask
Not
me.
enough.
Yeah, man, I don't feel like he's catching enough, and I'm a fan, and I don't think he's catching enough.
Oh, if I recall correctly, when we did our top 5 artists, Weezy Baby made it into your top 5 all time.
Oh yeah, And if I redid the list today, he's still there.
And he's still awesome.
Yeah.
But
so check this out. A few weeks back, Morgan Wallen is on tour. And he gets some doctor's note or something to put up on the board that pretty much says, "Hey, I'm Morgan Wallen, and my only job is to sing, but now my voice hurts." Which
because he got too drunk. The true story is, I believe that they found out that the real matter is he got too drunk to perform. Which, hey, I've been there. I've been too drunk to do something before, man. I understand, and I hate it for those goers. I hope they got their refund. And I hate it.
That one they did, but see, he's not touring right now. They put him on 6 weeks vocal rest. So 6 weeks, his tour just.
Oh, he canceled the whole tour after that. I imagine, because I saw the storm that happened with the media.
Right. Actually, though, they didn't cancel the tour. Instead, Kenny Chesney will be standing in for Morgan Wallen. I was like, well, those are very different, but okay.
Kenny Chesney?
Yeah.
Boo!
What do we got? Like, that's like Wish Jimmy Buffett. Like, what are you talking about?
It's pretty whack, man. I'm not the biggest country music fan, and I'm not a country music snob by any means, but Kenny Chesney, the bald guy?
Yeah. He's like 5'3", bald, yeah.
Yeah, he likes to wear capri pants and sandals.
And those straw hats, yeah.
Yeah, those weird hats. Yeah, he's still rocking.
Yeah, man, still doing the same thing. I think. I don't know, but
that was 30 years ago.
Yeah, for real. It's like, I don't know, who knows these things. That was 25 years ago. Whenever, I don't even know, one of his songs. Anyway, that's not
when Carter was president.
Yeah, that's right. DeCarter, Lil Wayne. What? I don't. Oh, that's excuse me. That's next year. DeCarter 24. Anyway.
No doubt.
Where were we there?
You were saying that Morgan Wallen caught a lot of flack for canceling his concert.
Yeah. So he did. And here's the deal. Rightfully so. In my opinion, rightfully so. Your job is to sing and entertain. That is the career path you chose. Now,
correct.
Look, if you lose your voice or something, I get it. Okay, I understand you're going to have a bad night. But look, I cannot stand the music of another country music star, Luke Combs. Luke Combs sings what I call pandering country, where it's always like, I drink beer and, hunt deer and, the whole thing.
Throw in some toast and you got Nickelback.
Yeah, it's right. Beans and toast. Yeah. So that's it. He's the Nickelback of country music. That's a good way of putting it. So, but
Ouch.
even him, he came out. There was a clip of him that went viral after all this Morgan Wallen stuff, of him coming out on stage saying, "I'm so sorry, y'all. I've lost my voice. I'm sick. This, and this." And everyone, you could tell, like you could feel it watching the video. Everyone's like, "This dude's about to walk off the stage and we're going to riot." And instead he's like, "So I'm going to reimburse y'all all y'all's money because you're not going to get the concert you deserve, but I'm going to put the best one on I can anyway." So he gives them all their money back and gives them a free concert. I mean, yeah, that's how you do it.
That's what you do, man.
Because guess what? You could sit there and sing like a toad the entire night, and every one of those people that were your fans are going to be like, even more so. They'll be like, "Oh, I was at that concert where he sang like a toad the whole night."
I told you what happened at the Logic concert that got washed out. I went to a Logic Wiz Khalifa concert, and I got to see the entire concert up until the main event, which was Logic. I mean, Wiz and Logic were co-headlining, and they've been switching off night after night who was the last at the ending the show, and this time it was Logic going to be the one doing the show, and a thunderstorm rolled through, and they had to cancel the show before Logic ever hit the stage. It was really a big bummer because that was the whole reason I had gone. I mean, Wiz Khalifa was awesome, of course, but I mean, the main reason I went to go was to see Logic with my wife. But whenever we filed a dispute about the fact that the concert got canceled. Apparently, Logic and the people on the concert had made the decision already at the time that they were canceling that they would do full refund. So we essentially got, I took a day off of work to go hang out with my wife and watch a free Wiz Khalifa concert.
I would say, and a free Wiz Khalifa concert. But that's how you handle that. Logic did it great. Luke Combs has done it right. I feel like Morgan Wallen mishandled it. Even if everything's on the up and up and it's true, I feel like he's mishandled it. And once again, coming full circle, we'll call it, Lil Wayne. It gets even worse though, because at least Morgan Wallen has the medical, in quotation.
Excuse, the medical excuse.
Yeah, the medical excuse.
Documented medical excuse.
Yeah, I would say basically your doctor wrote you a note for school, bro.
Yeah.
But
to get you out of school.
Yeah, right. But whatever, he got it. Weezy just was like, y'all ain't vibing the way I want you to, so.
Oh, straight up. He came out on a performance in Los Angeles, by the way, decked out in the most god-awful Laker gear I've ever seen. I mean, yeah, I'm not a Laker fan, but it was head to toe. It was rough, and it's like you're pandering to this crowd. But because the crowd was upset that they didn't really know any of the previous acts that came on before Lil Wayne, because they're newer. It's the new Young Money, so it's a new lineup that's not as popular or familiar. So since they weren't singing along and reacting correctly, when Lil Wayne came out to be the main event, he killed the show right then and there and said, "No, I don't like the way you guys treated my main lineup. I'm out," and called it quits right then and there.
That's a problem.
30 minutes into the show.
But here's the deal. Okay, so there's lots of arguments that can be made. I'm going to talk about just like the baseline stuff. No, yeah, but just that's wrong. You shouldn't do that. But you have to understand there are times being an audience member that the vibe is weird. And you're trying to I want to go mega time right now, but you can just feel it's like it, but it's just not where we.
I don't know this guy. Yeah, I don't know this guy.
Yeah, it's like this. I like this, but I don't know this. So
I've seen those opening acts are always hit and miss.
But yeah, tons of times they are, and not just in hip hop shows, in rock shows, man. You get a bad opener. Oh. God.
Yeah, or you can have one like I had where I went to a Taking Back Sunday and Coheed and Cambria concert, and the story so far, which is a very legendary pop punk band from the underground, they were the opening act, which that's pretty big deal, to have a legendary group be your opening act. That they're a lesser known band, but I thought it was great all around. Coheed came out, the guy with the hair, the whole thing.
The guy, Atlantic, man, that's a beautiful.
The guy from Taking Back Sunday looked like he was drunk off his ass. Everything was great.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it was a typical, rock show.
Yeah, typical rock show.
Yeah, good.
The only thing is that I sprung for the extra ticket cost, and it was the nice seats. The seats where you get to sit close, but not in the mosh, but a little bit back.
Right.
But it killed the vibe, man. I hated it. I never again am I not going unless I'm general admission or in the pit, because that was too much. I felt like I was at a movie theater, and it was whack.
Oh yeah. No, I've never done that. I've always been general admission. I'm not a pit guy. I take things way too personally to get in a pit.
What about when you were a young kid, though? When you were in your teens?
I did. Yeah. I mean, oh, yeah.
I'm too old for the pit now. I'm an old man. I'm going in there. I'll die.
No, I got put in a mosh pit one time, and I got clocked so hard. I was like, this is fun? They're like, yeah. I'm like, no, it's not. So.
Slam dancing, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, no to that, and I left. So I took my ball and went home. Anyway,
that's the last time he went to a Billy Joel concert.
Yeah, man. Piano Man broke out and he got wild. Okay, so we're not canceling Wheezy, but we're a little disappointed.
I'm disappointed in him for his decision on how he ended up, compromising himself as a performer for the fans. However, I am proud of him for standing up for his opening act. I mean, it's to say one thing as your leader that, he stands up for you regardless of the situation. He had your back. He said, "No, I'm not feeling this. Let's get in the van. Let's go to the next town. This place sucks. You people suck." But and it's Los Angeles, so who's to say he wasn't wrong? But there's something to say that it was a Lil Wayne concert, and the opening acts were just support. So the fact that they paid the money to come see him, hung around to see him, and then he just bailed, that kind of sucks.
I agree with that too, because you do have to think about the fan who. Let's talk about the fan who just wasn't vibing because he just straight up didn't feel any of the openers. Think about how frustrated he is. You know what I mean? And then it's like, finally, Wheezy, you're like, all right, cool. That's why I came here anyway. I stayed this whole time. Oh, you're mad and you're going to leave? I hate you.
So that's how we're going to wrap up our first live show, right? We're just going to get pissed off and storm off in the middle of the recording.
Oh, my God. If they ever, listen, I'm just convinced that eventually that when you and I become famous and I truly believe, I'm going to speak this into existence, brother. I truly believe it. Like Pentecostal, man. I'm going to talk it in there. I think we're going to be famous, but pump your brakes. I think Thailand famous, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe South Korea famous.
And then we catch on somewhere. Yeah, we catch on somewhere in the gosh, I can't think of it, Eastern Europe, just some weird place. There's some guy they can't understand a word we're saying, but they love us.
Show #1 new show. We love you. Yes. Yeah. And I'm gonna be like, all right, that's cool, man. They'll be like, come to our abandoned warehouse and have a seminar. And I'll be like, seminar on what? You're like, no, seminar. It's different. And I'm like, never mind.
Come drink with us.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we'll end up with Bert Kreischer stories or something.
Hey, he got that turned into a movie. Good on him.
You know what? We'll circle back to that because I actually happened to see the movie poster for The Machine today while I was at the movies for the first time in God knows how long.
Since COVID?
Yeah, I've been one other time since COVID / since 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, my wife and I went and watched Top Gun Maverick.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah, that was the event where you guys went into public for the first time. It's not out of any germ phobia, it's just the fact that you don't go out in public.
We're hermits. Yeah. No, it's you guys were worried about the.
Hey, if they ever put a movie theater anywhere between here and there, somewhere Fort Chaffee area, never see you again.
No, I will never darken the doorways of Fort Smith again. And people are like, why do you hate it so much? I'm like, because it's not my house. It's not the fact it's Fort Smith. It's anywhere that's not my house. I don't like it.
I hear you.
It is what it is, I guess. But yeah, man, could you imagine? They offer us hey, we're #1 fans, man. Come over here, do a live show with us. I'll just be like, okay, and then that's exactly what I do. I'd pick a fight and then get mad and leave. I just but here's the deal. You and I would have to have the agreement that whenever I make a scene and storm off, you have to sit there and look completely lost. You have to just sit and be like, I don't.
It's he normally doesn't do this, guys.
Yeah, I don't understand. He's never acted like this before.
Is he coming back? Do you guys validate parking?
Yeah, you guys validate parking. They'll be like, yes. See, and just like that, boom, the South Koreans aren't going to hire us. But the Thai still might. We'll find out. I think we're going to be, somewhere Pan-Pacific famous, Okay, so I tell you what, since we're done, we've given our 2 cents on Lil Wayne. I will just circle back to what we were talking about with The Machine, right? With Bert Kreischer. Okay, so if you're listening to this and you've never watched a Netflix stand-up special called Bert Kreischer, The Machine, you should do yourself a favor and watch it, especially if
It's a
you
true story.
Yeah, in quotations, but either way, you should go watch his stand-up special. Bert Kreischer is a very, very funny man. I love a lot of the things
He's the comedian that doesn't wear a shirt no matter where he's at.
We'll call him slightly overweight, which I don't believe he actually is now. I think he's
had a lot of weight loss competitions with Rogan.
Yeah, well, and him and Tom Segura are good buddies, and Tom, like, I don't know, he went from a chubby dude to not a chubby dude pretty rapidly, actually. So maybe.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Let me pump the brakes. I would say that honestly, it looks like Tom is losing his weight in a healthy way. I'm not meaning he's like hitting that nose candy and he's losing weight. I think dude looks like he's hitting the gym, man. What do I know? But anyway,
he's
it is what it is. Getting back on subject though is so if you haven't watched that, go check it out. You can get the little backstory on it. But they are turning it into a feature-length film and starring Bert Kreischer,
Mark Hamill.
And Mark Hamill, yeah. Luke
Skywalker is in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, you've got The Machine and Luke Skywalker.
Right, it's worth a watch to me. Plus, it's if you know the story of The Machine, and I don't want to ruin the story for our listeners, you should go seek it out and hear Bert tell the story. But basically, he tells the story of when he flunked it or not. Well, he somehow passed Russian in what college?
Yeah, it was a college Russian.
It was a college trip to Russia. And the story itself is worth watching the movie and hearing the stand-up.
I tell you what, I'll give you his tagline, the way he opens his joke, because it doesn't ruin the way he would ruin his joke. And he said, when I was 22 years old, I got involved with the Russian mafia. And that's how the whole story starts. And
exactly.
It's just, yeah, and it's hilarious. I'm not going to say it because that's Bert's story, and it's funny. It's allegedly it's true.
Yes, allegedly.
It's a pretty, I don't care if it's true or not, it's an outstanding story.
Exactly, and it's a funny premise for them to have turned into a full-length movie, so I'm curious to see how the jokes are, but also I want to see an adaptation of that story, because that story is wild.
I do too. That's right.
And I imagine that the interaction with the guard is going to be in the movie, because he tells the story, so it's got to be in the movie.
Yeah, well, it's in the preview as well. I checked out a trailer for it, and the interaction with the guard is it's in the movie. It's in the movie. So
nice.
Yeah, that'll be cool to check out. Anyway, well, the reason I was getting to that though is I was at the movies, and I took my daughter. She graduated kindergarten this morning. So
congratulations.
Yeah, my little girl, man. Everyone was like, man, you probably gonna cry. And I was like, yeah, definitely. I would assume if my kid walks up to me and I'm having too bad a day or too good a day or too normal of a day, and they're like, hey dad, I love you, and I'm just like, oh, I mean, I don't know, I'm soft when it comes down to my kids, man. But
they found the soft spot. I know, I understand. My son's the same way. He's actually been blowing up my phone here. He should be in bed. I don't know why he's sending me messages, but he's sending me the same thing. I love you, Daddy. And then he sent me one that I got an 8 in Flappy Bird. Beat that.
Nice.
So, yeah.
You're like, man, Flappy Bird. That game's still around.
Well, he has a link that he plays on his tablet that opens up to the Flappy Bird game, and it works just like a app would tap. Yeah. So he plays that, and then he sends it back to me, and then we just click on the link in the chat conversation, the text conversation, and we just play it back and forth and share our score.
Nice.
So he got 8. I got to beat 8.
Nice. All right. So I took Harley to see the Super Mario Brothers movie. I've been excited to see it because I why wouldn't I
It's
played Mario.
Mario,
Yeah,
bro.
I played Mario growing up. Uh, Still to this day, like don't get me wrong, I had the original, the Nintendo Entertainment Center. I had or system, excuse me, with the OG Mario and Duck Hunt, and then my all-time favorite Mario, I would say, is probably Super Mario World from the
Me
Super
too.
Nintendo.
Me
Yeah,
too.
that one's great, isn't it?
Yeah, no,
Um,
yeah, I speed run that one all the time. I love going down and watching somebody watching me play it, and they're just blown away that I'm able
yeah,
to go all the way to the end of the game in like 35 minutes because I used the shortcut. But I mean, it's still to get there in 35 minutes. They're like, you just beat Bowser. It's like, yeah, no big deal.
yeah. Man, I remember that game from growing up. But anyway, so we watched this movie, and I've heard a lot of like there was a little bit of flack going towards it. Like not I don't think there's anything. Actually, there was John Leguizamo tried to get upset about it, and like everyone just told him to shut up. And so
Well, his movie sucks so bad. I mean, what are you gonna do? Rest in peace, Dennis Hopper, for making a god awful movie. But uh, yeah, I don't know. It
what,
was the
bro?
story behind the Super Mario Brothers movie is outrageous. Like a guy who played Mario, he's like an English actor. He's like a well-known English actor, and apparently he was so miserable and unhappy with all the rewrites and stuff that he was just trashed all the time on every recording. So it's funny to think of the movie in that context and how very little it relates to actual Super Mario Brothers. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I would say, well, this one, on the other hand, because it was made by Illumination Studios, with the geniuses that brought us Minions. Um,
Illuminati.
yeah, I look. What?
We'll circle back to that.
This movie was great. In my opinion, Rotten Tomatoes would probably argue, but we don't care about them anyway. But man, like just it was just like it was another. Okay, you remember how I described Top Gun Maverick? I enjoyed it because I didn't really have to. I didn't feel like when I left. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like I was just like, wow, that was entertaining.
that was fun. Yeah.
Well, that's how I felt today. And dude, Jack Black is
Steals the movie. I heard he steals the movie as Bowser.
he, bro, he is fantastic. He's fantastic. Chris Pratt as Mario. Like I know people are like, that's weird. I don't know. It was
You
Mario.
adapt.
I don't.
You adjust to it
Yeah, that doesn't really bother you. The one that kept getting me was Luigi as Charlie Day, or Charlie
because
Day
it's
as Luigi.
Charlie. Because you hear the voice, it's Charlie.
Yeah. Well, and all I can think about is Horrible Bosses when Jennifer Aniston's like messing with him. He's like, "That's a, you're a rapper." And it's all I can hear Luigi saying every time he talks. So,
Well, we know the name of this episode. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
yeah. So you're a. So anyway, Charlie Day as Luigi's a little weird. Um, but the overall story was Mario. It was Bowser's the bad guy who's trying to steal away Peach and conquer all the worlds. And so it's
Yeah,
a
the
very
Mushroom Kingdom.
the Mushroom Kingdom. He's already taken out the like the snow, the one with the penguins. He takes
Yeah.
that out in the very beginning. So I mean, you get a chance to see all the different little like Mario worlds and characters and all this kind of stuff. And it's just the way it's all put together to make their story work. But they tie all kinds of aspects from like Mario Kart to Donkey Kong to okay, Mario
Seth
Brothers
Rogen
3.
is Donkey Kong.
Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong, and Donkey Kong does have Seth Rogen's laugh, and that's a little bit irritating. But what are you gonna? I can't even. Oh, it's so. But anyway, other than that, it was really good. I don't think Seth Rogen ruined the movie. I don't mean
So
it like that.
let me straight up ask it then.
Okay.
Sonic the Hedgehog or Super Mario Brothers?
Bro, it Yeah, it's Super Mario all day, bro.
Really, really,
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
truly enjoyed the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. So
Well,
I'm
I did too, man. I liked both of them. And this new Super Mario movie, man, bro, I'm 34 years old and I was sitting there just smiling and just having a ball watching this movie. And I mean, it was good. It was like I said, man, you might watch it and be like, that dude is
maybe that's
crazy.
what the wife and I should do this weekend for our anniversary. We should go see Super Mario
Yeah.
Brothers.
Yeah, man. Like I said, like don't go in expecting to be blown away with anything. Just go in there
Have
expecting it to be
fun.
Mario. Yeah. Expect it to be a Mario trip out and you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
it
I'm
was
gonna go
just
plan on going in there buying some Mario swag, going in there and watching a Mario movie. I'm good.
yeah, that's it. You go in there expecting to watch a Mario movie, you're gonna have a good time. I did. I thought it was
It's got to
awesome.
be better than the one that had John Leguizamo in it, where they had
Dennis Hopper with the
big
weird
yeah, and a big-breasted stripper was in there for some reason. I don't know. It was weird, man. That movie's
yeah,
whack.
you know, that was to keep dad interested in the movie.
The Goombas had little bitty heads.
Yeah, yeah. That was such a weird movie. It was so weird. Oh God, this one was good. And here's another thing though. It wasn't live action. You know what I mean? It was animated. So you were seeing Mario. You're
Yeah,
seeing
throwing
Luigi.
fireballs.
Yeah,
You,
exactly.
you're
Exactly. So it
you're
was
not
easy.
seeing Bill Hopkins grab a bomb, a plastic toy, and throw it like it's supposed to be a real thing that blows up.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The animation is beautiful. Like I said, story's good. I had a ball. I had a good time. Harley had a good time. Jen even had a good time. Jen don't even like the movies, and she had a good time.
No,
So
she's very critical about movies. I do remember that about Jen.
yeah, she's like, I'm like, you want to go to the movie? She says, no. Why? It's like to watch a movie. She's like, we can just wait till it comes out. I was like, well, I mean, that's very true. We could do that. And so that's just normally what we did. And then COVID happened, and we could start watching new movies from home legally. We didn't have to get those pirated copies. Not that I would ever. Anyway, so we'll just move. We'll just kind of keep on trucking along. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and give you a solid 8 out of 10 on Mario. And honestly, the only reason I knocked 2 off is because it's a kids movie, and it's an animated movie. But I'm talking if I'm a kid, it's a 10 out of 10. It was a fun movie.
Yeah.
I had
All
a
right.
good time.
Well, fair enough. I love the Mario franchise. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
I mean, I've indoctrinated my son with Sonic the Hedgehog and Super Mario. His room's decorated in it, literally. So I
Nice.
gotta go see the movie as well. I think it might be a fun thing to do with the wife for our anniversary. Go have dinner, watch that as the movie, since it's lighthearted, not gonna make us all depressed like some psychological thrillers do.
Yeah, exactly. The Razorback baseball team has found themselves in first place in the West. We don't know how it happened, but it happened. We were plagued with injuries, and then everyone else was too, and we kept, so hey, look at us. So we're gonna hopefully keep moving all the way to Omaha. We've got 2 series left, I believe. So before we go into regionals, I mean.
Well, do you know that team has really become something special up there in Fayetteville? It's only a matter of time until they break through that glass ceiling and actually bring home a championship.
Yeah, hopefully soon. Dave Van Horn has built an incredible program. Just got to get over the hump, though. You know what I mean? Like
right now, he's still the guy who can't win the big one. And if you remember the last year when we talked about it, I said to you, "Is it time for us to ask that question?" You said no. Right. I said I'm starting to, have those conversations. So we will see what happens.
We will. Yeah. Because I don't right now I still don't know where I'm at on that. That's a hard one. That's a hard one to ever like see. That's a hard coach to let go. But I do understand what you're saying when it's like if you're not getting the job done though,
Sometimes you need to usher in some change to grow.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So anyway, there's a lot of crazy things going on in basketball right now. Not so much with the NBA. Is that still is the are they still playing shooty hoops?
Yeah, there's 4 teams left.
Yeah. Does anyone? Okay, look. I understand the Lakers and Golden State, right? It's Lakers and Golden State are matched up right now, right? No, Lakers already eliminated Golden State.
Correct.
Okay.
And they're on to gosh, I'm drawing a blank. It's Denver Nuggets.
Oh. Yeah, the Suns have been eliminated too. By the Nuggets. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Denver Nuggets.
So Joker versus LeBron.
And it's been quite the show so far, but I'm still leaning Nuggets. I still think they're gonna pull it out.
I hope so. That's not really. I'm not a fan of Denver at all. I cannot stand the Lakers.
And then on the other side, we have the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat, and I'm still riding the Heat bandwagon for Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I would say I think Jimmy Buckets can get it done, man. I mean, is he back to putting time in? Because I have not paid attention to the playoffs.
Oh yeah, no, he's been incredible. He's doing his thing where he's showing up. But I mean, just in general, it's been it's been entertaining to watch the Heat scrappy play to get them as far as they have. Because they also have Noah Lowry and the Bam Adebayo. How you say his name? Adebayo. Yeah, he's
Adebayo.
Adebayo.
Yeah,
he's a fantastic center.
Yeah. Okay, so we got the draft coming up. We got several Razorbacks that are going to be in the NBA draft this year. In the I don't think they call it a combine, but they have the well, maybe it is the NBA combine.
Yeah, it's the NBA combine.
Yeah,
it's the NBA draft combine.
So 4 Razorbacks were given invitation. It was Jordan Walsh, Anthony Black, Ricky Council, and Nick Smith Jr. 3 of the 4 did what they were supposed to do, showed up and showed out. Anthony Black has pretty well solidified himself as a first-round pick. Jordan Walsh showed up and showed out and has almost, we're not going to say solidified but we are thinking like the general consensus is that Jordan Walsh could be a late first-round pick. Oh, and if that's the case, that kid's gone. He still has held on to his eligibility with Arkansas, but if he gets first round at all, he's out of here. And I would too. I mean, why wouldn't you? 19 years old, go start making that money.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, you're not going to, at the moment at least, it doesn't feel like the University of Arkansas is going to necessarily be Duke, where they're a factory for these players to come through and contend for a championship year after year. Instead, they're going to do what they do and try their best to, get developed, get some talent, and get shown on a national level playing in the SEC. But, I mean, I believe that if I were playing for Arkansas, I'd be a one and done.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think especially now, Arkansas is getting the reputation of being the place you go if you want to go to the next level. Over the past 3 years with Musselman, once you saw Moses Moody do a one and done, once you see us have 3 one and dones this year.
Moses has a ring.
Yeah, Moses got a ring. And he played a little bit that year, too.
He actually did. Yeah, he played in the finals.
Yeah, he sure did. But anyway, getting back to the combine, Anthony Black and Jordan Walsh did all right. Ricky Council held his own in there, looked good. But I'll be damned, Nick Smith didn't show up. Now, here's the deal. I understand the arguments being made of like, well, hey, if you already know you're a first rounder, you're gone in first round, why, hey, why mess up a good thing? I get it. But How do you know that? I mean, you didn't put any film up this year at all.
Nothing,
You
nothing that puts you out there to where you're a standout. No, I would think that your measurements from the combine and getting some video there would
That's
really
it,
do
though.
you
I
a
mean,
benefit for the scouts. But
that's the whole thing, though, brother. Everyone goes. Everyone go. You go to. You just go get measured. Go down there and get weighed and measured. Even if you're a lock, you go down there to get weighed and measured.
I don't
And
know. He's not. I don't think he's a lock. But I mean, some people have him projected as high as mid first round. Some have him going, early second round. But either way, whoever gets him going to have good, a heck of a talented player.
I'm going to go ahead and go on record, though, and I'm going to be I'm going to be toxic. Okay, it is what it is. I'm going to tell you this. I think that Nick Smith Jr. is a fraud. I think he's an absolute fraud, and I'll tell you why. Okay, I could be dead wrong. I've been wrong at least once before, but the first time I've ever heard of this kid was going into his senior year of high school. He transferred from some school to North Little Rock. And everyone was like, oh, man, he had this killer year at North Little Rock. He had a killer year at North Little Rock because he's playing with a 7-footer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to take anything away. I'm not trying to say he's not a good ball player. But what I'm trying to say is, like, this dude, like, the reputation that he has, there's no way he can live up to it. Is what I'm saying.
No, he never.
He is a fraud because
he was battling.
He has not tried to do anything to discredit what people are saying, like, oh, he's this, he's that, blah, 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 blah. All he's done is fed into it. And he has not had to prove himself, not once. He came in this year, and then we dealt with right knee management. I don't know what that is. I don't know what right knee management is.
We call that the Lonzo in Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah. So we dealt with that. And then when he comes back, everyone's like, oh, he's still dealing with that injury. I'm like, he's moving fine. He's just not good. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm willing to say what no one else is, right? And so, but there's so much hype around him that he can just coast, man. And that's what he did. And then he's like, yo, I ain't worried about it. I'm going to the NBA. I got an agent. I'm a lock. I'm in. And then they're like, oh, you need to come to the NBA Combine. And he's like,
well,
huh? Oh, man, I would, but
well, let me say this, Hoot. Don't you think that he knows that too? Don't you think his agent knows that? Don't you think it benefits him to avoid being?
Yes, that's the point I'm making.
He wants to keep the mystery alive.
Yes,
because the mystery benefits him.
That is the exact point that I am making. Yes, sir. I believe that wholeheartedly. I think at this point, bro, you know as well as I do, and I'm going to call out the NBA right now because nobody from the NBA is ever going to care that I'm doing that. And listen, it has nothing to do with playing basketball anymore. It has to do with marketability, okay? For some reason, the universe or the Twitterverse has decided that Nick Smith Jr. is incredibly marketable, and there's enough hype built around him that advertising alone will generate revenue. So you're going to put this kid on a team. That's what happens. And he's not good. I'm willing to tell you right now, I truly think Nick Smith Jr. is not good at basketball. At least that's not fair. That's not fair. Hold on. Let me walk that back.
Okay.
He is not good enough to play in the NBA.
He's not lottery projected pick worthy.
Absolutely.
Projected lottery pick worthy.
Yeah.
Let me say that correctly.
Yeah. I think that he could play pro ball. I just don't think he's NBA ready. And I don't think he's going to be because I think that he's soft, and I think that people have pandered to him long enough. And
I mean, the NBA is
soft.
Not quite what it used to be. It's soft. It's Charmin soft, bro.
Yeah,
it is Charmin soft, bro.
Oh, you're right, dude. You're right.
Ticky-tack fouls and flopping. Why the hell do you think they jack up the threes? It's because they're afraid to go in the paint because they don't want to get hurt.
See, that's the whole thing, though. You know what? I made that exact same point you just made the other day, and they were like, "What?" It keeps on getting brought back to the Great White Hope. You got Larry Bird, and it was like, Larry,
Luka?
No, the original.
Oh, not the new one.
Yeah, not the new White Hope. That's our new Star Wars movie, the new White Hope. No one likes the title. I don't know why. Boo, he walked
I'm
off.
still
Okay.
here.
Okay, good. So, they'd be like, hey, Larry, why don't you dunk it? And he's like, because a dunk's not worth 3 points. Where now today, if you're like, Steph, man, you can shoot from anywhere. What motivated you to be able to do that? He's like, I don't want to get hit. Now, I'm sorry to make the Steph Curry thing, but he's the only one I can think of that can hit from just about anywhere.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not as soft as all of them.
He's
I mean,
not.
he's pretty
Like,
tough considering he doesn't do anything but jack up threes.
Yeah, I would say he's actually extremely tough. He got punched in the mouth at a bar one night. That's the only way I know because like no one fouls him. He's at half court, you know.
Yeah, he draws the foul. I can't find what I was looking for. Never mind.
Fair enough. So okay, but to see that circles right back around to this though. The NBA is so soft. You agree with this, right?
I have been one of the people that have been banging this drum for years.
Right.
That I grew up watching a television era where people would go into the paint and they would get knocked down, and they were lucky if they got called a foul. I mean, much less a technical foul or a flagrant foul of any sort, which I'm not saying that the league hasn't cracked down on that with just cause because people were doing some stuff with malice. But I will say it has resulted into referees blowing whistles for everything and players now being afraid to initiate contact. And I feel like there's a lot of players in this league that they have the skills and the fundamental skills based on their athleticism that they can do all kinds of incredible things that older generations couldn't do, but they're not nearly as gritty and tough. And there's something to say about grit.
Yeah, right. Because that's the whole thing. Like the NBA of yesteryear, I mean, I don't know what it was like in the early 80s. I wasn't alive then, but I know what it was like in the 90s, and it was a tough place to play. You were bloodied. You could be bloodied out on the floor. You know what I mean? Like Dennis Rodman would do everything he could to take somebody's head off.
There's so much video footage of him just being such a pest, just trying to draw people's ire because he knew that they never got him. They always got the guy swinging at him.
But man, that was the whole thing. Like you got guys that were like Rodman is a great example, but there were tons of guys. Isaiah Thomas, honestly, from golly, why can I not think of that dude's name? Anyway, it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is this: you had all these guys that were like that, man. They were tough. They were willing to fight you. These dudes were gangsters, and they were posing as basketball players. That might have been how they get their money, but my gosh, these dudes were brutes, man. Even who was Thomas, as small as he was, man, he beat that dog out of somebody.
Who was it? I believe it was Michael Jordan famously told the story about gambling with Xavier Maxwell and that he's legitimate crazy, and they believe that he may have killed someone because he's just that crazy. He's that guy.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
This isn't.
Yeah. Disclaimer, y'all. This is not saying this is fact. This is just a story.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we heard. But so you have those guys from back then where now today you got like Ja Morant, right? Who, we all know what's happened with him. He kind of doing some showing out. He's like, what's popping, slime? And I'm like, what? And he went to Crestwood High School, which is a private school. They gave him the 8 Mile treatment. Put that TikTok video out where they did the 8 Mile thing. He went to a
because
private
he went to a private school. He grew up with both parents. He grew up in, for lack of a better way of phrasing it, like a suburban white neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. Dude grew up with a good life. That's what happened. He had a good life. And why are you ashamed of that? Why are you ashamed of having a good life, man? You don't have to live a shit existence to have some cred in the world, man. But
for some reason he wants it. He wants that type of credibility. And he came out and he apologized once before for the same actions. Yeah. And here's where I come on the subject. As a basketball player, I think that he is part of his money that he makes has to do with his public image, and it's not a good look for him right now.
Yeah.
He knows better. He already got caught with it once. They kind of slapped him on the wrist and let him go. This time he's probably going to get a little bit more severe punishment for it.
I think he should.
However, I will say this, that if this young man were wielding this gun in a responsible manner, out hunting with someone, he had just bagged a bird or something, would people be acting the same way if he was out holding a gun like that? No, they probably wouldn't. So it's also about how he's doing this. He's waving it around in videos trying to look tough, and that's never a good look.
Especially like here's the deal. You're in Tennessee, brother. People don't care you got a gun. People care about what you're doing.
Memphis, they all got guns.
Yeah, everyone's got a gun. It's Memphis, dog. Everyone's got a gun, bro. Like, that's just across the river from me. Everyone's got a gun. But like, it's what you're doing. Is you're acting like a fool, man. I don't know. But even though the old round mound rebound has popped off about it, and he told, let me see if I can find the quote. I think he sent it to me. Let's see here. Where was that? Did you not send that to me?
I saw it right before we came on here, so I felt like I did, but maybe I didn't.
Either way, it just basically. Oh, no. We shared it. We shared it on the page. Oh, yeah. There we go. Hello. But basically, Chuck just said, you're not a thug. You're not a, you're not a criminal. You're not whatever, a crook or whatever. He's like, you're a ball player that gets paid $200 million to bounce a ball. It's like, so go be that. And I was like, yeah, you know what? That's not a.
Yeah, you're not a thug. You're not a gangster. You're none of that. You're a basketball player that gets paid $200 million. What's funny is he actually got corrected. He's like, you get paid like $10 million a year. And then Shaq was like, no, he gets paid $200 million. It's like, you paid $200 million to, shoot a basketball. How about you just be a basketball player?
Yeah, that's right.
And that's where I come from as a grown ass man. 22-year-old BT might have come at this from a different perspective, had different opinions on it, might have been more outrageous. But as an older, seasoned man that has kids, I now understand, he's in a position with his popularity and his fame and his talent and his good looks, everything that he has going for him right now. He is so marketable that he could be someone that instills a lot of positive change, especially in the environments and the areas where his popularity is very large. And I'm dancing around it, but in those black urban communities where he is incredibly famous and popular and viewed as a role model, he could be doing a lot of positive change. And instead, he's kind of perpetrating a stereotype, and that's just not a good look for him or anybody in his situation.
No, it's not. I'm good to stop beating up on John Moran. I hope the young man turns it around, because I think he's a good ball player. I think that he has a lot of potential, but I mean, if he keeps acting a fool, he's going to end up doing something to mess up his career. I hope he doesn't, but we'll see what happens. We'll see.
No, I wish him nothing but the best, because I truly feel like the kid is going to be the next generation of superstar in this league. I've compared him to, some type of a hybrid between Allen Iverson and, I can't remember the other point guard, but it was like Isaiah Thomas or someone like that. It was a pretty nice comparison that you and I had come up with in the past. So I got a lot of respect for him. I still think he can turn this around. I just hate that he made the same dumb ass decision.
Yeah, it's just the same thing. And that's, like I said, we make it sound like it really frustrates us. It's not really that big of a deal for me, but it just seems like, bro.
Nah, I don't care if he has a gun or not. I grew up in a generation where everybody has guns.
Yeah. All right. So I tell you what, so we can wrap this show. You had something you wanted to talk about with your NBA conspiracy theory. I don't know, but I want to hear what your theory is on this Spurs stuff.
All right, so I was watching the lotto last night, the draft lottery, watching them do the ping pong balls, the whole thing, because the Bulls had a 1.8% chance of getting that number one draft pick, and 1.8% is the same percentage they had the year that they got Derrick Rose. So me being a conspiracy theorist, I'm like, if the Bulls get this, Wouldn't it just be fitting? It'd be wonderful for them. Here it is laid up, wrapped up for them. But once I immediately realized as the picks are being dropped ball after ball after ball that it wasn't going to be Chicago, I'm like, okay, so it's going to be the Hornets. The Hornets tanked last year. They're going to get somebody to play with LaMelo, and they're going to, they're going to get this guy, and it's going to be like a great 1-2 thing. Nope. Number one draft pick goes to the San Antonio Spurs. What? But this also happens to fall on a year where there is only one projected player to be an overall number one draft pick. There's nobody else even in the conversation of the young man, and he is an incredible superstar from the country of France, Victor Wembanyama. But Victor Wembanyama is the best basketball player in the world that doesn't play in the NBA, and it's like hands down. This guy is incredible. He's got all the intangibles, and he is just killing it over in Europe right now. Now this guy is the next great French superstar, and France is gushing over this guy. He's going to go international. He's going to make them millions and millions of dollars in tourist money because he's going to be an attraction. Who was the last great French basketball player that was a champion, was on all the Wheaties boxes, had all the endorsements, and even, rolled over into pop culture when he started dating celebrities in Hollywood? That's right, Tony Parker. Tony friggin' Parker. Where did Tony Parker play?
Was San Antonio?
He played for the San Antonio Spurs. He is part of the reason why the San Antonio Spurs and Greg Popovich have as many championships as they do. Now, on that same vein, do you know what the number one merch selling team is in the country of France? And I'll give you a hint. Number one, Chicago Bulls. That's just because Michael Jordan exists. That's not going to change for a while until MJ's legacy starts, getting older and older. But you know who the number two top selling merchandise team is in the country of France? Well, I'll give you a hint. It's not the Los Angeles Lakers. Well, it's not the Boston Celtics.
Well, I'm assuming since we're talking Tony Parker, it's going to be the Spurs.
It is the San Antonio
Spurs. Is it really the same? But in France, it's the San Antonio?
In France, it's the San Antonio Spurs. They love their Spurs. That country are huge.
Yeah, Tony Parker played.
It's because Tony Parker played there, and Tony Parker is like the Michael Jordan of France. Yeah. So let's weave this all the way back. Where does it benefit this young man to go the most, besides Chicago, obviously, because the Bulls? Where would it benefit him to go the most out of any other team in the NBA, at least from a perspective of where his merchandise is going to do the best in his own home country?
Okay, so we're saying San Antonio.
San Antonio. Okay. So I don't know how far this can go back, but I just find it odd that this young man didn't go to Charlotte, North Carolina, and play for the Hornets. He's going to end up in San Antonio playing for Spurs, a team from Texas that, doesn't necessarily equate NBA in most people's mind. But that's the way the ping pong balls go, because that's the luck of the draw.
You sound skeptical whenever you say things like luck.
Little bit. I think that I'm one of the people that I think that the year that Derrick Rose ended up in Chicago, that wasn't fate. That was intervention from David Stern, and that NBA did what they do. They make sure that LeBron James goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They make it happen. So I feel like this is another one, insert the X-Files music here. Yeah. This is another situation where it may not be as random as they want us to believe it is.
Right.
What do you think?
Well, I can say that I have not put near as much thought into this process as you have, but I can also say that, I can buy into this easily. And for the exact same reason what we were talking about earlier with like Nick Smith Jr. It's all about marketability, right? Well, this kid is obviously going to be an international superstar, right? Well, where are you going to make the most money? what franchise will benefit the most, all this kind of stuff. Oh yeah, man, the algorithm. You don't have to plug me into Facebook or Twitter to know. Follow the money, brother. Follow the money. And this kid going to San Antonio makes the NBA money. It makes the country of France money. It makes his kid money. Everyone's happy. Of course, I don't think it's random. Yeah, I think that's a perfect. I mean, if that's a coincidence, sign me up. I want more of those kind. The coincidences I get is when I run into my ex-wife at a grocery store. That sucks. I want $200 million. You know what I mean? Like I don't.
Get at us, MeUndies. Balls in your court.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Our balls are in
your face. What? I don't know. What? I don't know. Anyway, it's late. You got anything else?
No, brother, that's it. Let's wrap this show up.
All right. Hey, if you stuck with us again, thanks. Yeah, I think that's about it. Hit us at us next week. Same time, same place, all that good stuff. You got anything else?
No, follow us on the socials. Please download the show and share it so other people can hear it. We're just only wanting to get bigger and bigger and bigger so we can continue to do better shows, and we can do this more frequently and from, better locations. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So just please like and subscribe.
All right, everybody. So once again, thanks for sticking with us. From Donnie and myself, Marie, we bid you good night.